Yo, compressed air friends. This is the maiden voyage of the AI glasses. So we'll see how this recording turns out. I already know the audio sucks, so don't yell at me for that. So what we've got going on here today is we've got this here turbo compressor, and they had a failure of the cooling system recently, where one of the pipes, not here on the catwalk, but one of the other pipes for the cooling system ruptured. Down below us is a bunch of switchgear that got soaked in that catastrophe. So that has all been replaced, and so now we got to recommission this turbo, and we have a few safeguards now in place, in addition to our new cooling water lines. So we've got our flow switch right here, and this is basically, this is wired back into the turbo controller. So if the turbo does not see flow, it will shut the machine down. The other thing we have is up here, we have our flow valve, which is going to be commanded open by the controller on startup before the motor starts to spin. So we're going to be, which I haven't connected any of these wires yet, but we're going to be on startup. We will command this valve open. When the valve opens, we have back here. Don't yell at me for this wiring. I didn't do it. One of their other contractors did it, but yeah, I would never. But anyway, so we have a pump relay connected here, and on the other side of that relay, these black and orange wires runs down to a wet switch. So if there's any moisture in the pan, that switch will open and shut the pump down. And then we have my my contacts from my control valve up there coming back here. So both of these have to be made in order for that pump to run. And so I got some wires here for the valve. So really all I have to do today is I need to adjust the programming in here to command that valve open on startup. I believe it's already looking for the pressure for the flow switch. I believe there was a flow switch already in here at one point. So the plan right now, compressed air besties, is I need to get this coupling out of here. And once I have the coupling out, I can energize the controller, check the program, make whatever changes I need to make in the program, and then I'm going to do a dry run and let this motor just spin, make sure it spins the right way, make sure everything sequences the way I want it to, and then we'll couple her up, pump it full of grease, and we'll be good to go. So I will check back in a little bit. See ya. Difference between you and me, I make this shit look good, son. Real good. Alright, compressed air friends. So we've got our programming all done inside this here Maestro controller. And we look over here in the distance. I decided to forego the AI glasses because the sound was just too horrible in here. But so up here, water flow control valve is closed. So what we should see when we go to start this thing up, right now I've got the motor is uncoupled. I just got I got the cover over it just so it doesn't want to fling grease everywhere. But we're going to make sure this motor goes the right way, and we're going to make sure our sequencing on startup works like it's supposed to. So what we should see is it should go through its normal checks, and then before the motor even runs, it is going to command that flow valve open, which that flow valve takes a little bit to open up. And what you'll see on the screen is there's going to be a countdown timer from 30 seconds. So basically, from the time I hit the start button, it commands that valve open. It wants to see that flow switch make within 30 seconds, which it will. You'll see the flow switch make, and then of course the motor starts and takes off, and then it should fault out on low oil pressure because it's not coupled up. So when it goes to kick over to the shaft-driven oil pump, it ain't gonna go. So let's check it out. Let's see what happens. Okay, so coolant flow, we're waiting, valve is opening. And that 0 changes to a 1. There you go, Pat. I guess that's 10 runs, this is Pat. Okay, motor just started. Not sure what the hell just happened there. Something bad. I gotta check that out, friends. I'll report back in a minute. I must have fucked something up real good. Well, that was a lot of fun. The electricians had the inrush set on the breaker way down, like the very bottom setting. So that tripped. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead, see what my arrow says. I should be going that way. Got my $high rotation testing tool here. And we are indeed going that way. I don't know how well you can really see it, but yeah, we are indeed going that way. So, let's go ahead and try this one more time. And let's go start. Once again, we're waiting until we see cooling water flow. Okay. Like it? Move ahead. Gave the stop command. I can see when I gave the stop command, flow valve closed. And then I might have walked you guys through this earlier. I don't remember. But right here, we've got, this is the wire going over to the pump control box that actually runs the pump. And it's seriesed in with, yeah, I did show you guys that. I did show you guys that wet switch earlier, and then the other thing it's seriesed in with is my proof of open contacts on my flow valve. So that valve has to be fully open, those contacts make, and that's when the cooling water pump kicks on. So yeah, we're a success here. I'm going to go ahead and couple this motor up, get it greased up, get this thing running. See you, friends. Oh, you thought I was pumping this coupling grease in by hand. You're so silly. Come on now. You think Unc's gonna run this in by hand? Nah, not a chance. Well, friends, we're going to see how the AI glasses do in a slightly quieter environment. I'd like to say that victory was achieved today on this turbo, but that's not the case. So after I got done greasing her up, got everything all hooked up, ready to rock and roll, I hit the go button and proceeded to trip the main breaker for the whole switchgear down below, which was pretty catastrophic. So once we got all recovered from that, I said, well, maybe that was a freak thing. Let me try it one more time before we get all these machines back up and running. And the maintenance guy said, yeah, let's give it another shot. So we did. And it tripped the main again. So just out of an abundance of caution, I went ahead and measured out the motor, did a winding test, did all that fun stuff on it, and it all came back clean. So with that gear down there being brand spanking new, I am thinking that the electricians just have the inrush trip set too low. So they're supposed to have the Sparkies out there in the morning. I'll be out there tomorrow morning, and hopefully we can get this whole thing sorted out. Because, yeah, that sucks. I really like to have things running when I leave for the evening. But anyway, it is what it is. So other than that little hiccup, everything went pretty good. So like I was showing you guys before the one breaker trip, all my sequencing and everything works the way I want it to on startup. So I'm happy about that. And we'll just have to get this breaker issue solved and we'll be good to go. So that's that, friends. I'm going to go home, eat some food, and see my kids for, a minute or so before I have to put them to bed. So, see you, friends. All right, so the resolution on this turbo, because I'm sure you guys are all dying to know. It is now the next day. I came out here this morning, met the electrician, and when they installed the new switchgear, they did not adjust any of the settings. So all the switchgear settings were still factory settings, factory default settings, which is why the main was popping. And so he got in touch with his engineer. He sent over, these are the settings that I want you to put into that switchgear, and the settings for the breaker for the turbo compressor and everything. Got it all set up, went up, hit the start button, no problem. Fired right off. Man, I don't ever get tired of being right, but sometimes it gets a little burdensome. But anyhow, so yeah, we're up and running. We're all good. Everything works like it should. So I don't know if you can tell these freaking grocery bags I got going on here, but I'm on PTO the rest of the day. I'm gonna go take a nap. See ya.